Hi everybody. I am so nervous to talk about this publicly again. Um, when I first started talking about my ADHD, that is autism and ADHD, I got so many weird reactions. But I went about it on like more of a comic relief side and the quirky side. But um, I have been formally diagnosed with ADHD since 2023. So I was 33 years old when I got diagnosed. So I am a late formal diagnosis. Prior to that, I had self-diagnosed my symptoms, and traits, and for my autism, I am informally diagnosed, and there's multiple reasons why I am. One of the main ones is that for me personally, as not only a black individual, but also as a person who is intersex, who is also has lived experience as a man of trans experience, um, going through the whole rigmarole of getting on my HRT to quote unquote transition, but technically I wasn't transitioning. I found out after I started doing blood work and screenings for my medical transition to get on HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, that there was something imbalanced within my hormones, and we went through a few things, and I have come to terms to find out that I am intersex. But I don't want to go into that. That's not what this video is about. This video is about coming to terms with understanding that self-diagnosis is valid. And when I say self-diagnosis, I don't mean I watched a few videos on TikTok or I watched a few videos um, on YouTube or Instagram or through Threads or whatever social media outlet platforms you guys use. That is not what I mean. I did the research. I backtracked my childhood and my treatment through childhood. And if I am getting emotional, it's because I was mistreated as a child. And even going into my adulthood, for y'all that don't know, I was married prior to my current marriage. So this is my second marriage. During that marriage, I was abused. Um, but I was also abused in my childhood. Um, and when I state this, I don't want y'all to go on this like this. We're gonna go on a rage against my parent. Um, my mom was a single parent, black woman, born and raised in North Carolina, Lumberton, North Carolina. So was I, throughout my childhood, and she was raised rough. She was taught like we don't talk about mental disorders. We don't talk about neurological disorders. But the sad part about it is I was dropped as a baby. So when people say that as a joke, I try my best to just kind of remove myself from them because it's not funny. Um, I was dropped because my sister left me on a bed, and I rolled off and I hit the floor. At first, it was just like a reaction of normal child cry, it hurts, baby falls. Um, you got to understand though, my sister was only 11 when I was born. We're 11 years apart, so she's still a child herself. Um, and I was left unattended. She didn't understand. She didn't know. So let's not do that. Don't badger my sister or browbeat her, um, or make her an enemy or a villain. A few days later, I was in my car seat, and my mom realized that like I was like slouched like towards the left side a little bit, and my face looked abnormal after that drop. And so after that she took me to the hospital, and they said that drop um did affect me in some kind of way. So that was one of the things that has affected me neurologically. So yes, there are times when I'm in social spaces and they may say something like, as you can see, I just stuttered a little bit. So like sometimes I do that, or like I can, do things with my hands, or like I rub my thighs a little bit. This is actually a lot more difficult to get through than I thought it was going to be, guys. Uh, yeah, so they told my mom, some things that may occur as I get older due to that traumatic brain injury. So basically, I had a traumatic brain injury from infancy, and so going forth, I'm getting a little bit older. Just trying to kind of speed through this a little bit because it's a lot to take in, and I don't want to talk about too much because I feel like I'm already feeling overwhelmed. But not to get too sidetracked off of why I decided to just informally diagnose so far, but I am going down the road of formal diagnosis for my autism. But the ADHD was like the main thing that I could see more so than the autism. ADHD actually ran through my mother's side of the family. I didn't know that until I got formally diagnosed after I'm an adult, uh, through a psychiatrist. And for the life of me, I could not stay still. I would move all the time. Granted, I was raised Jehovah's Witness, so we have to sit for like 2 hours sometimes at a time when we're in meetings and things like that, and you have to be quiet. And as a child that has undiagnosed ADHD, that is not easy. Um, so I'm growing up in a very structured, basically strict program with my mother. Prior to her leaving my father, we still were in the religion, but I was consistently, well, what we call them black folks, beat. Like I was beat. I would get whoopings. I would get whipped. Like I would get beat. And I say beat because people be like, oh, you get popped. Or they're like, that's not what happened with me. Like I would not be able to concentrate on reading the Bible for 30 minutes, but I could watch my favorite cartoon, and like that would be my mom's, and that would be her comparison. It's like, oh, you can watch a cartoon but you can't sit down for 30 minutes to read the Bible, or this and that. It wouldn't interest me. And so I would tell her like it's not interesting, and then she would take that as take that as offensive because it's God, it's the Bible. You're supposed to be able to listen, but you gotta understand. I'm 7. I'm like 7. I'm going into basically. I'm barely even a preteen, and you're telling me that because I can't sit still as a 7-year-old to listen and hear about God over and over again, which we do every single freaking week, that I have to get beat. And once again, I want to reiterate, me and my mother are at a good place now. I'm an adult now, y'all. I'm telling my story finally because I feel safe. I feel safe finally because I didn't feel safe for a really long time. And I used to be so scared because I just wanted to be like other kids, and I wasn't like other children. And I had to realize that now at 35. I'm about to be 36 next year, and I'm just now realizing that I was not like other kids, and it was okay. There was never anything wrong with me, but I was told by everybody that something was wrong with me and that I wasn't normal. And like some of the things that I used to do, I loved having like imaginary games, and I had imaginary friends. And no, every child does not have imaginary friends. That's not something that every typical child has. So I hate that whole like comparison. Oh, every child. No, they didn't. Because I used to say to other kids, oh, well, this is my imaginary friend. And they're like, where is he? You know, like those are some of the things that those are some of the statements that used to be made. And like my teachers would be concerned, like they would tell my mom all the time, like, you know, Kelly, because that's my legal name, but although I go by Wyatt now, do not call me Kelly. That's only reserved for like my family, friends, and partners. um but they would say, like, oh, Kelly's very isolated, Kelly doesn't socialize, Kelly doesn't play with other kids. But I had to understand that, like, it was just, that's just the way I was. I liked to be alone. I preferred it that way. Sometimes it was too loud in the classes, and that's before we knew like how to have headphones or to protect from sensitivity. I have audio processing disorder as well with my ADHD. So with my ADHD, a lot of times it takes me a minute to process. So I may say huh because I didn't fully hear it, and then I would get beat for that. Like, I would get beat because I thought my mom would think I was being smart. I would get popped for that. I would get grounded. I would be put in my room on forceful isolation because I wasn't acting right, quote unquote. And I just want to like express and just talk about it because I don't feel like I need to just give y'all all the research all the time. Some of this shit is just our feelings, man. Like, a lot of y'all don't understand what that feels like to be abused because you are fucking different and you don't know what it is. And you're being told that you're just being defiant, or you're just being rebellious, or you're just hyper, which I was. It's a part of ADHD. It is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So yes, I'm going to be fucking hyper. But I just I hold so much anger sometimes, y'all. I do. And I have so much love in me, but it is okay for me to utilize this platform now. And that's why I decided to get back on YouTube, because all these other platforms, they only let you see a glimpse of who you are, and they don't let you get to just talk and get it out and just hear from other people that are like you. I'm not posting this for people that are not like me. So if you're neurotypical and this is just not you, it's okay to just freaking stroll, man. Like, I'm so tired of y'all putting your 2 cents in when you're not us. You don't experience this shit. You don't. And I'm so tired of defending myself because I have to self-diagnose right now. Do you know how expensive it is to get diagnosed and assessed these days? Do you know how long it takes? It can take between 9 to 12 months for them to just say, hey, yeah, you're autistic. You're level 1, you're level 2. Like, and don't add that you're black. Don't add that you're transgender. Don't add that you're gender expansive or you have a third sex. Like, there's so many factors to think about, and I just wanted to get on here and just say, please stop putting yourselves into our shoes if you don't truly want to be in our shoes and understand us. Just stop. You're doing more harm to the people you say you love than you are helping. I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because I feel really overwhelmed. I feel upset, and it's okay for me to be angry right now. And I'm just thinking about all the things that I went through, and I physically can feel those things, and I feel intensely. I'm very sensitive, and I'm okay with that. And I want to say thank you to people that say I'm so sensitive, because yes, I am. I fought fucking hard and long for so many years to get to this point, to be safe enough to even express that shit. So thank you for saying that I'm sensitive. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But I just want to say that it is okay to be self-diagnosed. Only thing I will say is, please do your research. Don't just go off of stuff you see on videos. There could be so many other diagnoses you can have. You can have OCD, PTSD can be a factor to that, BPD, bipolar disorder. All of those go under neurodivergence. So neurodivergence is not just autism and ADHD. There's so many things that go under the spectrum of neurodivergence. So please, if you do feel comfortable, do go get professional diagnosis. But if you don't let anybody else guilt trip you or gaslight you and tell you that you have false evidence of what you know is real. And that's all I can say for right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If it resonates, leave your comments. If it doesn't, like I said, keep fucking scrolling. Please do. We need to learn to just shut up when we have nothing good to say. All right, y'all. Take care.